It's right around 10:30 p.m. Sorry, 10:30 a.m. on Monday, August 21st. I just went out to the hallway for the first time in a day, just to see what happened to my towels in the rear stairwell, and they're gone. I had about 4 or 5 towels hanging up back there because the shower head in my bathroom sprays water everywhere. So when I take a shower, I have to put down towels all over the floor, and then because they're dripping wet and I can't really hang them up anywhere in here unless it's out the window, I hang them up in the rear stairwell, and now they're gone. And so each towel is about $7 to $10, which is like $50 worth of towels that Greenville just threw away that belonged to me. So anyway, there's that. But last night at around 9:30 p.m., while I was lying quietly on my bed in the dark, checking emails, my mom sent me a photograph of my niece and nephew who live out in California. They're both under the age of 13. And my niece is, preteen, whatever. But the guy next door in 88 is he's a sex offender, and he has some very severe behavioral problems where women and females are concerned. He likes to shout all kinds of filthy comments at me when I walk past his door. And just now, he was shouting something as I was standing at the end of the hallway, and he started making comments about my niece's name. She has an unusual name. Her name it's not a very common name at all. And he seems to have knowledge of who she is because one time when I was on the phone with her in this unit and talking to her, I got off the phone and the creep next door started violently pounding the wall. He went out into the hallway and started shouting her name and saying that she had big boobs and long blonde hair. I don't know how he knows this because she lives in California. She's never been to this building. And when she does visit Boston, she never goes anywhere near JP. And I don't post pictures of her on social media. And the same thing happened last night when my mom sent me a picture of my niece and nephew in California, and I opened it on my phone. The creep next door suddenly started making several violent banging noises against this wall right here. As I was looking at the picture of my niece and sending an email back to my brother saying that the kids look good and blah, blah, blah. The creep next door is a sex offender who knows who my preteen niece is and knows exactly what she looks like. And just now, as I was walking down the hallway, again, he started shouting her name. So this is an extreme concern because I do not post pictures of her on social media anywhere. The only 2 active social media accounts I have right now are YouTube and LinkedIn. I'm not going to post pictures of my niece and nephew on LinkedIn, and I don't post videos of my nieces and nephews on YouTube unless they're in there for like a second, and I certainly don't mention their names. So how does a sex offender next door who is a convicted rapist, who has violence issues, and serious perversions that cause him to blast porn movies all day and all night, regardless of the time of day, and he watches these violent slasher flicks where women mostly, are just screaming and shouting about, they're being stabbed. He's got some issues. So how does this creep know who my niece is, what she looks like, the length of her hair, the size of her boobs? I mean, this is a preteen child we're talking about. So how this guy knows anything about her is a real concern. So I'm actually going to file a police report because I keep saying that my phone and its contents are being doxed to the residents of this building by the cyber criminal / hacker / psychopath / sex offender named Jasmine Irizarry, who appears to be doing some type of services under the table for the Greenville group who own this building. And I keep observing that the contents of my phone, videos that I make on it, photos that I save on it, are made known and doxed to the people in this building, and then they confront me about this stuff. So the creep next door could only possibly know about my preteen niece in California if somebody is revealing the contents of my phone, even if it's not posted, to the sex offenders in this building. And this has been going on for years. And I've been observing it for years. I've been mentioning it for years. But now I think it's time to start going to not just the local police, but the FBI, because any kind of electronic hacking, the local police can't handle. You have to go to a government agency and have that investigated. And again, today is Monday, August 21st. I received a photo from my mom last night over email while I was quietly checking my email while lying on my bed in the dark. A photo of my niece and nephew in California, who are both young children. They're preteens. And the creep next door just now starts shouting her name at me as I'm walking down the hallway. She has an unusual name. And a few months ago, when I got off the phone with her while chatting with her while lying on this bed, he started violently pounding the, and then last night when I opened the photo, he started violently pounding the wall. This wall right here, that's the wall of his unit, repeatedly while I was looking at her photo and sending a response email to my mother saying, hey, the kids look good, blah, blah, blah. And the creep next door kept violently pounding on the wall. He stopped, and he did not pound on the wall before that, meaning he was responding to something that was happening at that moment. And a few months ago, when I was talking to her on the phone, he also did the same thing. He started repeatedly, violently pounding on the shared wall. And then he went out into the hallway and stood outside my door shouting about my niece's name and how she has big boobs and long blonde hair. And I don't even know how he should have any knowledge of this. So I'm actually going to go to the police with this right now. And they're going to, I mean, this is like a child. Okay, so we're not talking about, my 30-year-old cousin who's kind of hot and these guys found her on social media or something. No, I mean, this is a very serious situation. These are a bunch of psychotic convicted sex offenders. Jay Irizarry, the cyber criminal who keeps hacking into my phone, interfering with the emails that I try to send about the Greenville group, about the lawsuit and legal case with the Greenville group. And she deletes like emails and attachments that I try to send to various housing agents and other businesses about the Greenville group. She's been hacking into my phone for years. She's lived in this building for years. She sits behind the wall of the bathroom that is on the other side of this wall, constantly smoking, burning, propagating the same exact set of sickening odors, smoke, and fumes that she's been doing for the last 8.5 years because she wants me to know that it's her that's sitting behind that wall, eavesdropping on everything that I do, reacting to what I do in my bathroom, interfering with the functioning of every single cell phone I've had since 2013. And now she's doxing photos and contents that have images of my young nieces and nephews who are all under the age of 13 to the sex offenders in this building. Obviously, how does the creep next door know what my niece's name is? Her name is unusual. And he was shouting it just now. And last night when I opened a photo of her on my phone, again, he started violently pounding the wall, even though he had not been pounding the wall at all for hours and hours before that. And he did not pound the wall after that. He started shouting her name in the hallway and accurately describing her physique several months ago, just minutes after I got off the phone with her, again, while lying quietly on my bed in the dark and just minding my own business. How does a sex offender next door in 88, who is a convicted rapist who never leaves his building and appears to be under some sort of house arrest, how does he know anything about my preteen niece who lives all the way out in California and almost never comes to Boston, and whose photos and images I do not post on social media? Anybody can check my social media. There's nothing about my nieces and nephews up there. So how does this sex offender know that my niece even exists? That's a concern.